Man, this season premiere was pretty fun. I really enjoyed it. Which means I need to say one thing before we move further. If you didn't enjoy season one and you didn't enjoy these episodes because you don't like what they're doing with the Halo show, just go ahead and leave your dislike and move on about your day. Because I actually liked the first season and I have really enjoyed these first two episodes. So I'm going to be talking about things in a positive nature. I know that's so strange for someone who watches all sorts of television to actually like the shows they're watching. I know it's crazy times we live in, but there you have it, everybody. I really enjoyed this season premiere of season two of Halo. There's some really cool action sequences, and when he used the grapple hook from Halo Infinite in the first episode, like when those first few minutes to scale that cliff, I was like, oh, this is gonna be good. It's gonna be fun. Um, Moving forward, I'm gonna be spoiling everything about the first two episodes. I don't do spoiler free, so if you don't want things spoiled and you haven't yet watched the two premiere episodes of season two of Halo, this is your exit point so that you don't have anything spoiled for you. If you stay beyond this point, you have been warned. Um, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, my internal reaction to these first two episodes is that it's we're obviously dealing with more Covenant stuff, but it almost feels like a sort of a soft reboot in a way, even though it still has continuity to the first season. We're very much removed from the things that happened in the first season. When this picks up, I believe I heard them say in an interview that this picks up 6 months after the events of the first film. So, season finale of season one, I said film, I meant season. Season finale of the first season, this is 6 months on. And Master Chief does not have Cortana in his head, nothing with him right now. She's gone. And Dr. Halsey's gone, and they're operating in this future where the Covenant's still there, and they're like glassing planets, and Master Chief thinks that it's like the beginning of something bigger. It's like they're training or something, and we get some really just amazing VFX of a shot. I think at the end of the first episode of the Covenant ships just rising up out of the shroud of mist in this planet, and it's just like, oh, there's an invasion coming. Um, but there's that storyline, and then there's flashbacks to things over the past few months. So we do get Dr. Halsey. We see she's somewhere imprisoned by the new chief of the Spartan program, who just doesn't seem to like the Spartans at all and doesn't consider them credible and just views them as tools and doesn't believe that he doesn't believe the Master Chief's account of what happens on this planet, so he doesn't think the Covenant threat is real. And he's kind of a dick. So there's that going on. There's a it's too early to say what the overall story for this whole season is going to be, other than a massive Covenant invasion, because we have those storylines, and then we have the space pirate guy who is an ex Spartan who he gets caught by bounty hunters or somebody arrested by somebody in this one. So we don't know what's going on with him yet, and his wife looks like she's gonna have to do something drastic to like stay in charge of the family, that crime syndicate. I don't know if she has it in her, but she might. She might become a cold, ruthless bitch to rescue her hubby. Um, but there's multiple storylines going in here, just like there were from the first season. I think at the forefront of this is in this version, everybody knows their team as the team that took their chips out, because they're 6 months down the road and all the other Spartan teams have kept their chips in. So they're like, there's this one scene where they're like teasing the Master Chief's team and all of them about having emotions, and oh, do you need to take some off because you feel sad, like teasing them because they took their chips out. Um, so that's a known thing. There is some running commentary between all the members about the things they're starting to feel. I don't know the names of all the Spartans. I'm not good with that. I don't have show notes. But the big dude who's part of their team, um, he's like starting to enjoy like watching like animal documentaries. It's in his spare time. And of course, is it Kai? I think is the blonde one who's just a badass Amazonian warrior, amazing. Um, I don't normally go in for blondes, but I gotta say her character is just the character, the actress, the character, and everything is like, that's a strong woman. I would cook meals for that and serve sandwiches to that. um, but she's definitely exploring, the emotional side of things, and he's just suffering. Like he's got all sorts of angst and emotions, and rightfully so. He was a science experiment, and so his mental state is questionable. Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand, which is kind of the underlying theme behind the new head of the Spartan program is can I trust this kind of can I trust this science experiment, because his head's been messed with and he doesn't seem to have a control in his emotions, and there's I don't know, there's a bunch of stuff going on here, but the core of this episode is the Covenant attacking this planet where they were, and him going in and basically rescuing this Marine squad, and they all get wiped out, other than this one lieutenant. I can't remember if she's a lieutenant or not. That's one soldier, right? And he ends up rescuing her from that. But in the middle of all of this, there's this intense, intense combat sequence that is so cool, of him just taking on multiple Covenant warriors and, surviving, picking her up from the rubble. And then as he's picking her up, she looks behind him and panics, and he turns around and he's surrounded by more Covenant and an elite, and I mean, there's this moment where he thinks he's going to die. There's all these, energy swords appearing out of the darkness, and then they all just go dark and they leave. And they leave him to escape with this girl. And they get out at the last minute as the Covenant are glassing the planet and destroying everything. But when there's the debrief that happens, um, the young soldier who he rescued doesn't tell the truth to the officials, and so she's just terrified. She's so traumatized by what she saw. Her whole crew got wiped out, and there was all these Covenant, and like she's like, it's just an impossible scenario, right, for a mental state of being. And so she doesn't tell the truth about it. So when the Master Chief starts trying to tell the new leader of the Spartans about all of this stuff, that no one believes that there was actually Covenant there, and that they were on the planet before it was glassed, and that Master Chief thinks they're training for like an invasion. No one wants to believe him, and so yeah, and they're sidelined this whole time because they can't go back in the field until Master Chief like submits to like a psych evaluation, I think it was what it was. And in the middle of all this is him figuring out that there's a correlation between the blackouts on these comm stations a couple of days before the planets get, glassed or whatever. And he tries to warn the leader, and the guy's like, whatever. And he goes and sends this other team out there, Cobalt team, I think. And then they suddenly wind up missing, and which sparks him to go on this rampage mission of, we're going to go find out what's really going on. And he just kind of recruits his three companions without telling them that they're kind of off the book until it's too late for them to know that they're off the book. And this is when we get to sort of the end point here, which is the Covenant's on Halo Reach, and so on Reach, like, and so that's sort of where we end up ultimately, is the Covenant are, in a new place, and they're just taking over everything. And we get the scene of the ships rising up through the cloud cover of the planet. And we also get, I can't remember her name, the woman from the first one who was like living with them, and she was like the mystic. She's back in this season. Master Chief thinks that she's dead, but he saw her and he confides to Kai that he saw her, and she's like, "But she's dead, right?" And he's like, "I know she's dead. That's why I'm disturbed by what I'm seeing in my head." Well, then we see her with the Covenant later on, so I don't think she's dead. Somehow she survived, or it's a clone of her. We don't know yet, but she's still at the play at the forefront of this. So some familiar elements from season one. We still don't know why Dr. Halsey's, where she's being held, what's going to go on with her. Cortana in the same space, and being cordoned off. And it's just a very interesting initial like footsteps towards multiple storylines here, and I don't know quite yet where they're going to be going. But I was entertained the entire like however many hours and a half or whatever, 2 45-minute episodes, something like that. Hour and a half that I watched the first two episodes for the season premiere. I liked it. I just highly enjoyable for me. I think just I have nothing negative to say. I know that some people don't like the fact that it's not according to the video games. I'm okay with that, but I like adaptations. So um, I see the beauty in all things, and I love the Halo franchise, and I love all Halo. So for me, it was highly enjoyable. I can't wait for the next episodes, and I'll probably review every episode here on the channel. I haven't done any episodic reviews since Ahsoka was on the air, so I haven't done anything like this in a while. So we're gonna get back to doing these since I'm now watching this show. And stay tuned. More next week. Till then, stay safe. Happy watching, everybody. Cheers.